after yesterday's assignment of getting used to the notation and the wording and how all this kind of ties together, today I wanted to focus more on actually performing the translations. This is exactly what your homework looks like. It'll be set up on a Jamboard. Your task is to actually translate these figures as best you can, given the tools that you have in a Jamboard. So our first one here, I'm going to translate this figure. Remember, this is called the mapping notation here. I'm going to translate every point. That's the kind of dummy XY here. I'm going to translate every point. X is going to get increased by 4. That means move to the right. And the Y is going to get decreased by 1. So it's going to move down. So basically, this mapping says move 4 to the right and 1 down. So I'm going to take each point here. I'm going to take each point and I'm going to move it 4 to the left. So I'm sorry, 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and 1 down. So that right there is going to be my new H. And then I'm going to do the same thing with ing. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and 1 down. That's going to be my new I. And the same with G, 4 to the right, and 1 down. And I'd like you to label these. So pull up your text tool and just type in H with an apostrophe. That's the prime. That tells me that it's the new H. And then again, you're going to do this with the other 2 points. That would be my new I with an apostrophe. Don't forget the apostrophes. And then my new G with an apostrophe. Oops, capital G with an apostrophe. You can go back if you would like and move these around if you want to move them a little bit closer. Doesn't really matter. Just get them somewhere relatively close to the point. It's a little hard to draw lines with these tools, but if you want to try and draw on your line, you're more than welcome to. If you have a mouse instead of the trackpad on your Chromebook, it might be a little bit easier. I'm using a mouse. All right, then the last thing you're asked to do is to describe in words how that figure moves. Either use the text tool or drop a sticky note in there. It moved 4 units to the right and 1 unit down. I like the sticky notes. You can just throw that in there or use the text tool. Don't try and write something long like that out with the mouse. And that's the gist of it. Just pay attention to the mapping. You're not going to be told in words how they move. So again, we've got a new mapping here. XY goes to X minus 6, Y minus 2. So this is 6 to the left and 2 down. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. Whoops, and 2 down. So my S will be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left and 2 down. There's my new T. And 6 to the left and 2 down. That is my new R. So I'm going to go back and label those. S apostrophe. T. And R. And if you notice, this isn't something that I brought up the other day, but if you notice, the distance between the original S and R was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That's the same as the distance between my new S and R. What that means, and you might hear this later on, is that distance is preserved. That means that the figure didn't get any bigger or any smaller. It stayed the exact same size from the original to the new. So then to add over here, the figure moved 6 units to the left and 2 units down. Basically what you're doing is you're telling me, hey, I know that this mapping means this in words. So you're doing 2 things. You're actually graphing the new figure and labeling it, and then you're telling me what the mapping, what the translation mapping means in words.